Alright, here we go, recording Allied Final, Game 4, the match between Napo versus Molo. The two arguably best players in this tournament and the two strongest captains. Can't wait. This is Game 4. The Allies have won every game so far, so if the Allies lose this game, if the Axis win this fourth game, they move on to the Grand Final. This is the first tournament of Allied Final since the resurgence of World War II Allied Final. So the last tournament I believe was in 2012 that I hosted, and now in 2017 it is resurrected like a phoenix through the ashes. So here we go. Molo, Germ, Chris, Italy, Salin, Spain, Napoleon, UK, Kron as France, Lurker as Norway, who's filling in as a sub, which all agreed upon by everybody, and Kron as the famous Russia, his famous Russia. So standard Africa take. Axis is retreating from Egypt and looks like to be going over to Algiers. France is starting to poke with his tanks. Early trigger being taken by Kron. Now, this is Lurker's first game of the day, so let's see if he's able to take this. Doesn't look like Italy's trying to stop him. And wow, this guy's been playing the game for a while. There's no reason why you shouldn't be able to take this, Finland. Everything's being played out pretty standard. Everything's looking good so far. France doing some early poking. He's got his air on the run. There's the Allied air. And they have the BCs in the air out of nowhere. If UK comes, he should be able to do something about this here. But just a little bit of back and forth, a little bit of indecision there. And he's trying to get some early hits off. But good damage. Got at least one of the BCs down to half. Buildings look like they're out. They absolutely are. Transports are, looks like they're ready to be taken out. And this is a good job by Kron to be able to take out the as much ground as possible with his tanks. You don't do very well against the BCs. Actually, you do terribly against the BCs, but against the ground down below, I do really well. No, only one Marine in that bunker. But let's look at the kills. 58 kills. Looks like he's going to hit 59 with that hold, and that's with building two bunkers. So not the greatest, but here we have Kron with his ever-patented great first hit. Looks like he's pushing hard. He's killing as many troops as possible. These BCs are not going to be living much longer, but he has been able to take out quite a bit of the Axis ground. And here, UK trying to get a couple of shots, and in return, Molo with his messers able to get a few in return. So everything's looking standard. Exo's on, so we've got a big group of players on. Full observer slots. Exo's coming on. Lots of people in the channel. This is tournament weekend. Semi-finals. Allied final. Team Napoleon versus Team Molotov. So right now, everything's been all standard Allies win. So if Axis win this game, they move on to the finals. So they were the first seed in this tournament. So it wouldn't be a huge surprise if they're able to pull this off. But very, very excited to get this game on the way, and good job on the Axis team for allowing a little bit of change here, allowing Lurker to fill in as Norway. You know, it is just Norway, but you know, the official rules would have been to not allow him to play, but they feel confident in their Axis team, and they think that they might be able to win with this sub that is filling in for the Allies. So great hold here, getting a full bunker wall up. And Kron's going to see this, and he's going to want to pull back. And he pulled the tanks back away from the bunker line, and he's getting good shots onto the ground here, but really no answer for the air that's just tearing his ground apart. And it doesn't look like there was any sort of coordination, like calling for RAF or anything. So a little bit of a wasted attack, and lots of tanks left from the Axis. And I'd like to see the Axis to be aggressive at this spot here. Norway dropping. Being able to take out the buildings in France, and should see that he's being attacked here. And I was think pull, but nope, doesn't need to, because there was only one Marine in there. He's able to get some early damage onto Spain. I don't necessarily think it's going to stop them from taking Mediterranean, but getting these 3 bunkers out is a good start to be able to drop in the future. Wow, 4 bunkers out. So very, very effective drop by Lurker, and this free agent coming in and doing work. So still being left with the CC, his barracks, his starport, so all his important buildings are still there, but the whole northeast of his country has all been taken out. He won't be hard-pressed to take out Med at this point, but what he will be hard-pressed to do is defend any sort of single or double drops. And as Delacroix is pointing out, Jerry, that absolutely Norway did quite a lot of work, and not only that, is being able to fill right up with a second drop. Extremely fast by Lurkers. First game in, and now he's going for the important buildings. I don't know if they're going to be able to stop this without incurring massive losses. Norway getting all kinds of troops out into the field, and looks like he's going to be able to take out these other 2 bunkers. That's going to be every bunker except for 1 taken out by Norway already to Spain. And the Med hasn't even happened yet. It's only at 2 minutes. This time, the RAF feels very confident taking out the Messers because they have marine control right underneath. And this looks like it could be game very shortly. And this is all thanks to this Norway. Wow, big on Lurker. Look at those APMs. He's just going massive and he's going beast. This has completely opened up the game. This is now going to cause a second front. You're going to have Italy or Germany come and start to defend this area, and really it's just going to open up France for future drops. And there's not much that the Allies can do, or the Axis can do rather. Allies are doing great. Standard attack here in Africa. Very good time, like very normal time from Kron. And wow, this is a great game for Russia, because Russia doesn't have to do anything. They don't have to break. Their second attack that wasn't in coordination with the RAF doesn't matter. Really, you could even be possibly pulling back to the end here, to the edge over here, and start building drops, because you can just bust this Axis team wide open. Then, you know, that could be a risk. Spending a whole turn of income on drops might not be necessarily what you want to do. You build up. You got 151 right now. You build up to 200 and coordinate with your allies to attack when you can. And Chris is supply blocked as Italy, having 70 over 58 just when the BCs are coming up. Not doing attack move, just moving straight down here. A little bit curious. Would have been able to take out at least 2 of these RAF. Just taking all kinds of turret shots for no reason. Very curious. But wow, a third drop already! Looks like the Axis got this one stuffed, but just the amount of men that he's getting into play is truly remarkable. Good job, Lurker, and what a sub to fill in. I don't get to see him play Norway very often, and it's truly a treat what we're witnessing here. I compliment Salen's Norway frequently, but Lurker is giving Salen a run for his money. Here at 178, Kron's going to be going to attack, deciding not to go high, not to go low, but go right down the middle. And with BC's right there, ready to take out his ground, then the RAF needs to be in here to be able to take advantage of this ground cover, but it seems to be enveloping by the Axis, and I don't think that the RAF is going to get any shots. They had a shot right there, but not too much after that. And Kron needs to really be careful about when he's sending and where he's sending to, because this game had looked really, really well for them. They just need to continue on and to start opening up France and Spain with very coordinated drops, and that starts with taking Africa so that France can get in there. So good job, Napoleon, taking out a transport there from Salen. Probably can get this the siege tank, but I wouldn't stay around too long for that. Kron was able to get these 2 cities here, just hitting 2 minutes. So look at that 3850, great income. Not left with much of an army, but very, very good income that he got with these with this city right here. So, wow, a record-breaking 4th drop by Lurker is going to be taking out this wide-open Africa wall, Atlantic wall, I mean. And they're not after this BC, that they're after is these buildings here. But now coming in for Grace is going to be enough. The Norwegian Air Force being able to do work, getting a BC, and the important buildings as well after that. Oh, this is a treat, seeing that with the shuttle that the Ireland was being taken. That's a heads-up play by Molos, knowing that Salin is having a lot of trouble holding Spain, and having lost his starport, and well, he lost one transport over in the east, and here's another one. He's very lucky just to even have that one left, and I believe that's going to be everything. He's still able to try holding here, but Kron holding up a very, very strong position with these 3 missile turrets, and that's quite a lot invested. What you're doing, while you're buying these, is to prevent the Axis from sending messers and sending big-time air to try to kill your ground forces. And it's a risk reward. The reward is if you're able to break this wall here and crush this attacks that the Axis have been getting. The risk is that the Axis overpower you, and they can even send their air too, and that's 900 crystal that has just been spent trying to defend a position that was indefensible. So neither team wanting to commit too hard onto this. Spain trying to lure some troops into these bunkers, and here is the this barracks was pumping troops into Africa, but as you can see, he only has 480 left, so wants to make sure to keep lots for repairing. BCs are pretty well healthy. One of them's at 2/3. Italy is being taken. Ireland was being taken out by Norway, and here's another Norway drop. Box being pressured into. And excellent point there by Della. It's 230 versus 262, and that just goes to show you how well Lurker is doing. The Allies know you have a strong wall here, so knowing that, as the Axis, you should be keeping the bulk of your troops right into this area, so that when the bulk's attacks does come in, you're able to, as Germany and Italy, get into this area and to stuff it. You can even use this bunker on your own team, so you're able to put a wall right here, have this bunker also attacking, and you're able to cover and have Russia incur lots of losses. Very interested to see how this next Norway drop goes, how this Africa take goes. One bunker down. Italy just not noticing that his drops are being taken out. And that just takes out one tool in the Italian arsenal. It especially makes UK happy because that's one less set of drops to be dropping onto your home province. Spain's pretty fortunate to be still having the Algiers cash still coming in, and being able to, wow, so expensive, rebuild a factory, rebuild the starport. I have to be admitted that I'm guilty of not wanting to rebuild those items. You build, you have 2 barracks going, you make sure to have lots of troops in Spain, you have lots of troops into France, and you just make sure not to be a detriment to your team. But Salom's looking to still be aggressive. He has great drop skills, and he's spending a whole turn's worth of income and lots of time with SCVs going ahead and rebuilding these important buildings. And wow, he can't lose this science facility. Not that he has any engineering bay, which he doesn't, but he can't be losing any more buildings than he has. And that was a good use of the mountains, good use of Germany's troops. But here we have the big attack. We have France coming into Africa. He has lots of reinforcements coming in. He's busting through, right through the bunker wall. The scouts are taking all kinds of damage. He was able to take the second BC out, only 2 remaining. And France has both BCs being able to do lots of damage. You probably should pull these back right now. And Della's absolutely right. He's making great commentary. Maybe I should get him on the cast. And yeah. Saying Crazy East. Oh wow, that is Crazy East. I love having these guys here. Kron should pull here. Look at all these tanks that are just getting wrecked. Goliath took the words right out of my mouth. Yeah, Norway, if you're here, I'd probably be dropping in France if I were you. You could still get there right before the 2 mark when the money is being distributed out, and if you can take out even half of these. Well, no, he's going to go for Berlin, so a little bit of a riskier play. But the target here is the core. After that, it's these 2 ports, and then the CC. So let's see what he's able to get. There you go, he's targeting the core. Germany's on the way back, but they're just going to get a lot of time with these buildings. Not targeting as much as I would have liked to. He could target these BCs. That's it. Gets one of them. Only 1 Italian BC left. And you got the core. So really, when you're doing that drop, that's all you really necessarily have to hit is that core. And I like how Lurker's not spending too much money on drops. He has about 7 drops, and he just keeps dropping continually, as quick as possible, keeping the Axis on their toes. No, I don't think Kron's going to give up just right here. He's going to pull back. His team's doing work. They broke through in Africa. Lurker is doing all kinds of very successful drops. And really, Kron Toker just needs to fall back, keep SCVs, keep some barracks alive. There you go. He's floating 3 barracks way back in the northeast. And I'm sure he's got a CC somewhere. There you go. There's his CC. He knows how to play Russia. Your objective here as Russia is not to lose. You're only trying not to lose. You're just trying to waste as much time as the Axis as possible. You want to save your tanks. Don't get them caught up with these BCs. See how quickly he's already got the drops here. He's already got the vessels, science vessels, not the science vessels, the transports. Here we have D-Day. Looks to be pretty well stuffed by Sally. He's going to lose a fair bit of tanks, but that's okay. Yeah, Salin did lose a fair bit, but that's okay. He did go well. He was able to knock this out. These are all veterans that are being dropped, so good job, Salin. BCs are not going well, but sending the messers to take these tanks out could be smart. I would personally take these BCs out of here, maybe fly them towards this direction. Get them into safety. This is very, very dangerous. There we go. Napoleon Sane pushing Berlin with his BCs, and with now the air is starting to respond from Germany. As you can see, these forces right here are all air. Napoleon is knowing where he can do, what he can do, and with what amount. These messers can't take out all of this air. If they fight here in the open water, the Allies are going to have the advantage. It's not a fight that Molo wants. It's been a good job by the Axis for being able to hold on for as long as possible. Because of their great aggression against Russia, against being able to stuff his attack. So let's take a look at the upgrades now. 2-0 for the BCs. Marines are still normal. 3-2 for the UK. Nothing for Italy, nothing for Spain. What about France? Has he started upgrading yet? Not yet. Russia, 2 attack for the tanks. and 3-3 for the Marines. I would really wait on upgrading any more tanks. I would focus more about getting your army back for Krontoker. His tax there was about 2,300, not the same 3,800 as he had before. So big difference on that. Just needs to focus on rebuilding. Allies need to do some very effective drops. If I was France and Norway, I'd be trying to drop similar locations. BCs, that's not the whole BC force, but they're being sent down to Algiers, as well as the Messers. Looks like they're here to defend it. Effective France can take this out. Is he moving up? He absolutely is. Getting some good hits. He should attack this. Not quite moving his troops as efficiently as possible. Really, you had to attack all the way here, or you retreat all the way over here, or you try to retreat all the way back over to this way if you're France. And great job by Napoleon, knocking out a whole bunch of Molos there. That might have been the nail in the coffin. The only advantage that Molo has is there, and he still has BCs. He still has these BCs, but really BCs with no messers, with no messers are very hard to defend. Norway locking up this point at Paris. With RAF, they could do a lot of damage. If the BCs were here, this could have been a whole other story, but they're going to have to give this one up. Unfortunately, a fair bit of money lost by Lurker trying to defend this point. Yeah, they do have the heavy industry, which at least stops a BC from Molo this turn. But with it's just a little bit too late on that. You don't want to fight that. You don't want to be attacking too much here, or else you're going to have the Axis hit you while you're attacking the ground. There we have the first landing. It's been a long time, but now we have France putting pressure on. Does he have a redrop? He has enough men for a redrop, but isn't going to immediately go there. So Napoleon basically saying that he wants Spain double drop with his BCs, and they're going to force open this second front. Personally, I like the call. That's how you're going to win this game. You got to make the BCs run all over the map. Here he's targeting them. Not as many messers because they lost that fight earlier. That two red BCs, one yellow, and another still at full health. So that just opens up the game, and with Norway and France drops, this is going to be an entirely different animal, and by animal I mean an allied animal victory. There he goes. He knows it. Building's dead. Spain on the run. He's taking an SCV yet. That's all he could do at this point. He needs France to be dropping here. France got to be dropping in this area. ASAP. Maybe not. Maybe over here. Just drop. Tanks down to absorb some shots. BCs are on the run. Norway needs to be in on this. There's Norway. That's where they gotta be. If you know these carriers there, you should be going all in on them, but I'm not sure if they know that they're there. I think the safe route going to drop. Now you have BCs covering it. This is what is supposed to happen. If you had France there, then it would make all the difference, but you should still be able to get a fair bit of damage. There's France with the redrop. These might not be full, but at least they're going to get something down. They got to be coordinating. All these players need to be coordinating. Napoleon with a solid 270 farm, making sure not to lose his air, but he's having carriers target them. Raf is targeting the interceptors, but that's not where you necessarily want to be doing. You want to be targeting the actual carriers themselves whenever you can, and you definitely don't want to be taking any tower shots. Loving to target those messers. He's just going to retreat off of this. Putting pressure on, you're leaving Russia. Now Russia's been able to build up for a long, long time. A nice 180 attack. All the tanks that you have should be able to bust up these bunkers fairly well. Air that's been building up thanks to triggers. There's some weak ones. Rontoker, yep, if you find the weak ones, you got them. It's that one, 21 health, 9 health. Oh, you got the air! He doesn't see it. Oh, well, that's okay, that's okay. Good solid attack. And there should be the cleanup of the BCs. But, no, he's not going to dive. I would have thought the dive was going to happen. But, following up with the Norwegian ground. Got to get that core. Second core down. Just taking out that money. Cost 75 for every one of those interceptors, so every one you destroy. We're doing more. France been able to take most of Italy, so he would have got a really nice amount of income. And because these 3 Marines were still there, you know that Italy also lost this 2-tank, 2-aircraft trigger. Probably should cancel that. He absolutely just did. And, did a good job taking a large amount of Italy's income. And look, Italy's already down to 270 because he spent it already. And Kronos is able to be at still a healthy amount. And look, he's building for East. These are not going to be for Africa. This is going to be for the next Russia attack, and that might be enough to do it. So with Napoleon not needing to build bunkers or missile turrets in in the UK, because of the early attacks onto Spain, that's been a big advantage for him being able to put everything into air. Upgrade still at 3-2. And he's just going to be reinforcing. Most of them are full health. He does have one at half health. We're going to have to see what this next attack is going to be like. But Spain's still pretty undefended. Troops are gathering into France, but allies aren't going to like this. Axis have both BCs and carriers willing to stuff that, and that was completely taken out. German Goliath, you don't see that very often. I appreciate that, Molo. There you go, Della sees what that is. What the hell is that guy doing there? He just took out a RAF! He just took out a RAF! Not even his strong ability, this is what's strong. He's got low health points, low armor, huge attack on ground. And here we have Krontoker coming in. Big attack once more, and when you have all your air into this area, it leaves Russia being able to go hard on the east, and I can see Russia coming right up into Berlin, taking out all these buildings before any sort of response is able to happen. And this has just been a war of attrition. What the Allies going to do is that even though the Axis have a larger air force, they're able just to poke prod, out-tax, outspend. And even though Russia lost an enormous amount of men, you're going to see he's probably around the 1,000, 1,200 units die but it doesn't really matter how many units die. It just matters if you win the game, and that's what is absolutely happening here for the Allies. So as that's going to be cleaned up by the BCs, we have France moving in and Italy moving some very important buildings into Spain, and I think this might be it. I don't think that they're going to continue past this. Even if the Axis win this fight, which it looks like they're going to, it's still a uphill battle that is beyond possible to win, barring some sort of disconnect. Kronos being able to take the islands here, not taking that one, was able to take Italy here, tax these two cities. The GGs are up from Germany, and that's all he could really do. It's a very entertaining match. I loved watching Lurker. I loved that Norway. It was a real treat. And as predicted, Kron had over the 1,000 lost, but didn't matter. He just kept throwing, he kept throwing, he kept throwing, and his allies kept hitting from behind. And then once again, the marker of Norway having even more kills than Spain. And with Norway having less resources than Spain, this is a big factor in the game. Chris not having as good of a KDA. You want to try to have double the killed and lost, and that's just, it's not going to cut it, unfortunately. Even though Kron Toker was stopped quite a bit, but that's game 4, and we have an even series right now. It's 2 wins, 2 losses, and all allied win, and it's going to go to sudden death access. I can't wait. So we have playoff, Napo, and Molo. There we go. And looking forward to sudden death. I don't know how many more of these guys can play, but I'm hoping they can play it out until we can get at least one person, one team out into the finals. So RavExel here for the Allied Final, StarCraft semifinals for the huge tournament, August, September 2017.